Scarlett, let's show everyone your Christmas dress. No, no sugars. Baby Pink, show everybody your beautiful Christmas dress. You are just the cutest. Do you know that? Baby, look up here. Look. Look at that beautiful baby. Look at that beautiful baby in her beautiful Christmas dress. You have a beautiful Christmas dress. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Show that dress off. Come here. Let's go show it one more time. Let's see. Let's see. Who wants to see it? Look at that beautiful Christmas dress. Look at that beautiful Christmas dress. Look at that. You don't like wearing a dress? The only problem is when she doesn't have clothes on, she looks like an old man. She looks nothing like a little girl. But that cute little Christmas dress. Now, I don't know how long that's going to stay on her like that. She's already torn the seam off of it, trying to take it off of her. I love her with clothes on, though. I just love it. All right, you can get down and play with your brothers. You can get down and play with your brothers. You can play, baby. And I've got a little bit of Christmas on to do a little bit of Christmas wrapping. I don't know if you guys have all your presents wrapped already. I always wait till the last minute. This is the earliest I've ever been when it comes to wrapping presents. Baby, you don't need wrapping paper. You do not need wrapping paper. Thank you, baby. Thank you. You guys can go play. You can go play. You don't need to hover around mama. Go play. Go play. Let's see if anybody is on here. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. I don't know if anyone's on here or not. We're going to continue anyway. But I hope everyone is having a good morning. I thought I would dress up just a little bit, try to get through this live stream without crying. And let's have a little bit of joy and laughter. I think my camera is crooked. And what else is new? Let me fix this. That's going to aggravate me the entire time. Okay, there we go. Let's see who is on here. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning from Missouri. Oh my goodness. Now, do you pronounce it Missouri or Missouri? I've always wondered that. Of course, with my accent, nothing ever sounds right the way I say it. But I thought, let me just put a little bit of Christmas on. Hank, you're bigger than what you think, baby. Put a little bit of Christmas on. Try to spread a little bit of cheer. Maybe not even talk about grief today. Maybe just enjoy each other. Enjoy each other. Have a little bit of reprieve from crying. Because it is the holidays, and you know, if you have lost someone, this is extremely hard right now. I will say, though, and it's so weird, even though it is the holidays, it doesn't feel like the holidays. So I haven't been crying about Mr. C not being here, which is fine. It just feels like it's going to be another day. I honestly feel numb. I don't feel one way or the other when it comes to the holidays right now, which is fine with me. It's fine with me. Of course, I've had 10 months to deal with this so far, almost 10 months. But I thought, let me get on here. Let me put on my little Christmas sweater, my Christmas hat, and just, let's not cry today. Let's just, for an hour, hour and a half, just forget about everything. Just wrap some presents. I don't know if you're going to wrap presents with me. I don't have very many. I'm just wrapping presents for my granddaughters, my son, and my daughter-in-law. I'm actually going over there this weekend. Hopefully around March, my daughter-in-law and son are going to be looking for a house to buy. So they're wanting the daughters to get their bedroom cleared out, organized. They don't want to take anything with them to the new house when they buy one. So that's what I'm going over there on Saturday for, help them organize stuff, declutter. I love that kind of stuff. So I think I'm going to have a really good time with my granddaughters. I am very much looking forward to that. Probably make some goodies to take over there so we can have something to snack on as we're doing everything. But yeah, I don't know if you're like me. I don't buy a lot of wrapping paper. I don't wrap a lot of presents. Most time for me it goes in a bag. I have the oldest looking wrapping paper downstairs, and I thought, you know, it's old. I don't know how long I've had this wrapping paper, plus like the old tags. I don't even remember buying these. I've had them in my stash forever. But I thought to myself, I am not going out and spending money on pretty wrapping paper, trendy wrapping paper, and all the other stuff. They're not going to care. They're going to look at the present for 5 seconds, open it up, throw the paper away. That's how I feel. So using the ugly paper, it's not really ugly, but you know, some people may be ugly. I don't know if you guys have started your wrapping, if you've even started Christmas shopping, if you're doing any Christmas shopping this year, how you're feeling about the holidays. Like I said, I just feel kind of numb. I don't feel one way or the other. I felt that way on Thanksgiving. On Thanksgiving, I didn't cry except for one time when I was saying the blessing and mentioned Mr. C. Other than that, it just felt like a day my kids were coming over to have dinner with me. So even right now, it doesn't feel like Christmas. And I'm even ready to take the tree down. I am so ready to take the tree down, stuff off the mantle. I don't really care. Like I said, I feel kind of indifferent to everything this year. Miss Scarlett, I think she's part cat. I really think she's part cat. She loves climbing up on me. In the bed, she likes getting like behind my neck and she likes going through my hair for some reason. I have no idea what's going on with that, but yeah, that's how she does it. Let me read a few comments. Baby, you gotta let go of my sweater. You gotta let go of my sweater. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mama's baby. Let's see here. I started wrapping yesterday. Oh, you started wrapping yesterday. When, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. All right, I don't know what some of this is on here. I have no idea what some of this means. All right, you get all kinds of trolls and everybody else when you go live, whatever. If that's all they have in their life going for them, that's pretty sad. But anyway, baby girl, I don't want you to fall. I don't want you to fall. Let me read a few more here. Hi from Australia. Hello, how are you? Block them and do members only. Oh, that's a good idea. I am so new to some of this. Oh, I don't even know how you do some of that. All right, if I see some trolls again, I will block them and delete and everything else. I mean, it's early in the morning in some places. What are you doing getting on somebody's live acting up? Did your mama not raise you right? Did you not have any good home training? But either way, but I am looking forward to Saturday going over to my granddaughters, and because my son and daughter-in-law are going out to dinner together with another couple, very exciting for them. And I'm just gonna go over there and just see what I can do to help my granddaughters get their room in order. They're very excited about maybe buying a house next year, you know, my son. And I'm excited for them. I'm mainly excited for them because I would love to do videos going to their new house and, you know, decorating for them, styling things for them, painting, doing whatever. And that's what I did yesterday downstairs. So I didn't do the live yesterday. I had started on a painting project. I'm like, I need to get this done. I need to finish this or it's going to haunt me. I still have a little bit more to do. And I'm gonna tell you what, I am not 20 anymore. My back right now is so tight. I have not done a lot of physical labor over these past 10 months, and doing that, oh my gosh, you realize your age, you know, you really do, and you take for granted your youth. Let's see here. Very windy and rainy here on the, so internet keeps going out. I pronounce it Missouri with an E sound on the end. Is it snowing there? Is it snowing here? No. We rarely get a white Christmas. The other day, the high was freezing. Today, the high is almost 60. I'm gonna be burning up with the sweater and the fireplace going on later today. So, try to get all this done soon. But no, we don't really get that beautiful weather for Christmas. I call it beautiful weather. We don't get the snow. rarely. My son and I were talking about that. I think the last time it snowed on Christmas, it had to be 10, 15 years ago. We don't get those white Christmases. And, you know, 60 and 70 degree weather just doesn't feel like Christmas. But whatever, you know, it's good for the kids. They can get out, they get new bikes or whatever. You know, kids can get out when it's not snowing or anything like that. I really don't want it to rain, but right now the forecast looks like, I think 70 for Christmas around here. That does not feel like Christmas to me. It does not. Are any of you really proficient when it comes to wrapping presents? I'm not. I am not the best whatsoever. That's why I use bags a lot. But I can remember my dad when malls were around. Do malls still exist anymore? But my dad would go and get my presents and my mom's presents. And I think it was like J.C. Penney, where you could go to the counter, and I think it's where you paid your credit card, but I think they would wrap stuff for free. And then also in the mall, it had like all these volunteers, like the Kiwanis Club and everything. They would wrap presents, and you would just give them a donation or whatever. That's how my dad had our presents wrapped all the time. They were so beautiful underneath the tree. I can remember it so well. But also too, let me ask you this. When I was a little girl, since I grew up as an only child, my brother was out of the house. He's 11 years older than me, so he was out of the house by the time I started getting a little older. When I was the only child there, my dad didn't wrap my presents. He didn't wrap my presents till I got a little older, but when it was just me when I was little, he didn't wrap them because he said Santa didn't wrap presents. And I remember when Mr. C and I were first married, we had this debate about whether or not to wrap our son's gifts. And I'm like, well, he's the only child. He knows it's for him, you know. And we had the biggest debate because him growing up, the presents were always wrapped. Of course, he has three brothers and a sister. So yeah, I can understand wrapping them. But as the only child, my dad didn't wrap my presents until I got a little bit older, and he just didn't, he would put the stuff under the tree as I got older because I knew there was no Santa. So he put stuff underneath the tree so I wouldn't see what they were. But yeah, he didn't put anything out till I went to bed, and none of it was wrapped. I don't know if you grew up like that, but that was a big debate between me and Mr. C when we were first married. And I thought that's just how it was. I didn't think people wrapped the gifts when the kids were little, but I guess if you have more than one kid, yeah, because I could just see all three of your kids running in there thinking, you know, something's theirs, and, you know, Billy thinks it's his, it's really Timmy's, you know, so I understand that. But I can remember that so well, and I can remember my dad was a hardworking man. My dad was almost 50 when I was born. My mom was in her 30s. And my dad worked all the time, hardworking man, loved me, but he was an alcoholic. He was. He spent a lot of time at the beer joint. Worked every day though, paid the bills, never did without. You know, he was a very high functioning alcoholic. And my mom told me there was many a Christmas Eve night. He even tried to do this. He tried to put together a dollhouse for me one night, Christmas Eve night. He was drunk, broke the thing, couldn't get it together, put it in the closet, and then it was like a few days later, I found it. And I didn't care it was broke. I didn't realize it was broke, you know, but my dad was like that, trying to put stuff together. And that's another thing too. Did your parents put the toys together already, like if it was something big, or did you put it together on Christmas morning? I've always wondered that too, because my things were already put together underneath the tree already. So I'm wondering about that. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. What was your reselling channel? I was trying to look it up yesterday. I used to watch you all the time. I miss you reselling. I still have the channel up. It's not for reselling anymore. It's more reaction channel, and it's called Honey, You're Broke. I don't know if I have it linked in any of these, but that's what I've been doing over there because I haven't gone out thrifting. In 10 months, I've gone thrifting 15 times. I'm sourcing items a different way because I don't go anywhere. I just don't go anywhere anymore. Let's see. The gifts from Santa weren't wrapped, but from Mom and Dad, yes. Oh, okay. I've heard people do that too. Okay, that's a good way. Hi from the Canary Islands, Spain, 20 minutes from Casablanca. I know I didn't say that right, by plane. And it is snowing. Oh my gosh, I am Irish and love your accent. I got an accent. Thank you. I love your accent. Where are you from? North Carolina. I am from North Carolina. And it's so funny. Whenever I first started YouTube, I didn't like my voice. I didn't like my accent. And then everybody kept telling me they liked it. So if you've ever thought about being on social media and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't like the way I look. I don't like the way I sound. Trust me, it doesn't matter. It's your personality. Your personality is what is going to draw people to you. It doesn't matter about your accent. It doesn't matter about how you look. It doesn't matter how much money you have or you don't have. It's your personality. And I've learned that over the years of doing YouTube, that a lot of people do like my accent. And over the years, I've come to like my accent and how I talk. Because after a while, when you hear your voice all the time and you see yourself on video all the time, you get used to it. You get used to it, you know? I mean, so if you ever thought about doing social media and you think that's going to hold you back, don't think that way. And if people are like that, you don't want them as part of your community anyway. That's the way I look at it. Let me see if I can. I had this cutter. Oh my gosh, this is awful. I had one of those cutters that you just smoothly go through the paper. I have no idea where it's at. I have no idea. And I probably cut this too small. No, I got it. I got it right. I hate wrapping paper. I hate wrapping gifts. I am not the best at it. I don't have any bags though. I refuse to go out and buy bags because I already have this. I'm really trying not to spend money. But I'm gonna tell you what, that little impulse buying trigger gets started in me sometimes, and it's not good. It is not good. I think I'm gonna have to do a no spend January. If you want to do a no spend January with me, let me know. We can do it together. I can come on here once a week in January. We could see how much progress we've done, especially now I don't have Mr. C's income. And while the only debt I have is my home. That's the only debt I have. We weren't in debt or anything like that, which is fantastic. But no way do I make what Mr. C made. Nothing whatsoever. So I think that's one reason I am planning in the next couple of years to sell the house, downsize, do something different. But I know that that little trigger gets started in me, and it's not good. It's not good. I'll be 100% honest with you. It is not good. I was never like that until taking care of my mother with dementia, and it triggered that in me. And then it stayed dormant for a while. And then about 3 months after Mr. C passed, I just felt it again, and then I stopped. Then I'll feel it again, and then it'll stop. So I need to get control of that. And sometimes it's just stupid junk. It's stupid. I have sent stuff back though. I have sent stuff back. So I'm thinking I need to do a no spend. I need to do a no spend 2026 is what I need to do. If you're not familiar with that, it's just you're not spending money on crap and junk. You're just buying your groceries, paying your utilities, putting gas in the car, just the necessities. That's all. You're not going to Prada and Hermes and buying stuff, you know. Not that I go there, trust me, I do not. But I need to do a no spend January. Let me know if you are wanting to do it. We can do it together. We can come on here once a week, be a support system for each other. Like I said, I just know I need to do something. And I think that's the best way to do it, and especially if you have people who are on board with you. It's so much easier to have an accountability partner when it comes to things like that. And I just know it's something I need to really get a hold of. I can feel it coming on again. It's awful. It's awful at times. I hate that feeling because what it does, it gives me a hit of dopamine where I have not felt any. It's been a lot of sadness in 10 months. So when you get that hit of dopamine, you chase after it. And then once you get the item in your hand, it's like, that didn't do anything for me. It's the actual buying it, thinking about it, and then when you get it, it's like, this wasn't worth it. This was not worth it. Let's see what we got here. I'm from Missouri and was told that I sound like a country hick. Now, I'm sure you do not. Accent aside, she's very attractive. I'm sure that helps too. Oh, thank you so much. Good morning, Sherry. Good morning, Janet. Let's do it. No spend January. All right, Crystal, we're doing it. We're doing a no spend January, and I can come on here once a week and we can encourage each other. I know there's also widows on here. You've probably done some grief spending. I've done grief spending. I regret it. I do regret it. And I need to get a hold of that. I want to make the most of the resources I have. I don't want to spend money on junk and crap, especially when I'm trying to go on to this journey of minimalism my way. Oh my gosh. And I've got so much stuff, you guys. I've got so much stuff. That's another reason why I don't need to go thrifting. I have so much stuff that I could sell for my own personal items. I don't need to go to the thrift store. I do not. And my reselling has not really, I haven't really been doing a lot with that. It's been probably a few months since I've listed anything. I have a couple sales here and there. Trying to get through the holidays, especially with doing this channel, and I'm also trying to build up the other channel. And I thought, okay, that's another thing about me. I will put so many things on my to-do list or that I want to do. And, you know, when you're building, it's easier to build one house at a time than 3 houses, you know, at one time. But yes, a no spend January sounds fantastic. And we can come on here, say what we did, what we didn't do, you know, our lows and highs. I think that would be great because a lot of times you need support. And sometimes it's easier to get support and to be open with strangers than it is your own family. I have found that when I went to Grief Share, I could say whatever I wanted to at Grief Share. There was no judgment, what I was feeling. And then I felt like if I said the same things to my family members, they would take offense to it. When I didn't mean to offend anyone. These are just my feelings, what I was going through after he died. And yeah, sometimes it's just easier with strangers. I don't feel like you're strangers though. A lot of you have been supporters of mine for years. You know, I've had different channels, I've done different things, and you stuck with me. You stuck with me. One of you mentioned one time that you would watch me mowing the front yard. We're not gonna get that desperate where we're mowing the front yard. We're not gonna get that desperate in our videos. But a lot of you are so supportive and you feel like friends. We've emailed each other and we've got to know each other through the comments. And I love that. That's what, to me, a community is. And especially with my last video. Let me read some more comments here. They're going a little bit fast. What are those gloves that you wear? I love your personality. Oh, thank you. It looks really cozy. Love your channel no matter what you post. Thank you. A lot of people ask me about the gloves. All right, I have the driest hands known to man. I have to put so much lotion on my hands, which means they crack and they cut very easily. So whenever I'm doing projects, cleaning, things like that, I wear gloves. And I like the fingerless gloves so I can at least feel, but my hands, right now, if I were to show you my hands, I have cuts on here. Especially yesterday when I was downstairs painting, I didn't wear any gloves. And I don't usually wear gloves when I'm painting, but I wish I would have, because even just holding the brush and everything around my knuckles now, they are sore from being so dry. Been like that since I was in my 20s. I put lotion on them all the time, but something about my hands, that's why I like to wear gloves, just to protect my hands, because as you get older anyway, your hands look like the Crypt Keeper. I don't care. I don't care if your face doesn't age or anything else. Your hands are going to stand out, you know, so they look bad as they are because I'm aging, but you know, with the cuts, it makes them look even worse. It makes them look even worse. So that's one reason I do that, is just to protect my hands, because what I do also, I'll put lotion on my hands. I lather it, and then I put my gloves on, and then by the time I take my gloves off, you know, and I wash these gloves all the time. I have a few pair. And I'll just lather them. The same thing with my feet. I will lather my feet with the CeraVe, whatever you want to call it, ointment. I will lather my feet with that, put some socks on at night, wear them half the night, because, you know, part way through the night, I take my socks off in the middle of the night, and then the dogs find them, then there's holes in them, then got to buy more socks. So I don't spend a lot of money on socks for that one reason, because Hank and Scarlett love a sock. Yeah, that's the reason why I wear my gloves like this all the time. And even with this, even though it's just as simple as wrapping presents, it don't take much. It does not take much whatsoever for me. Let me read some more comments. Hello, Miss Scarlett. Hello. Let's see here. Looks really cozy. Let's do it. Okay. Yes, no spend January. This is what I need. I need accountability partners, and to be totally honest with this channel, I try to be as transparent as I can. I don't say everything about my life, you know. Not everybody does. I share what I want to share. Let's see, they've got another comment on here. What is this? I became a widow last May, found you. I'm trying to decorate. All the tubs open, but nothing done. Yes, I'm 64 and everyone is waiting for me to start. But after 43 years with him, oh, no. Don't worry about what other people want you to do. Do not worry about that. I felt the same way when it came to Thanksgiving. We'd always hosted Thanksgiving here, 20 plus people. And I thought I had to do it again this year. And then one day I'm sitting there. Well, I was also in that fog. And then finally I came out of the fog and I'm like, why do I have to do this? Not that anybody put pressure on me, but I felt like people expected me to have Thanksgiving here and expected me to have Christmas here. And releasing that and telling my in-laws and the other side of my family that I'm not doing anything and I don't want anybody over, oh my gosh, huge weight lifted off my shoulders. So for Thanksgiving, it was just my kids, my daughter-in-law, my son. It was fantastic. Same thing. I'm not doing Christmas party. I'm just having Christmas brunch. They're coming over. I just, like I said, right now, I want to take all this Christmas stuff down. It doesn't mean a lot to me because Mr. C always encouraged me. He'd come in, hey, babe, the tree looks beautiful. That's why I'd have 5 trees up, different rooms decorated because of him. My joy came from his joy and his encouragement. And I don't feel that way now. Maybe I will. But you were married 43 years. I was married 35 and a half. You can't just start. People don't realize that all of a sudden your life stopped. And it's hard for someone who's never been through it to understand. They're like, well, you just pick up and you just, no. That was my life. He was my home. Like with this house, this is just a house to me. Mr. C was my home. And it's hard for anyone to understand. I told my entire family, I said, I wish you could crawl inside my head and understand how I'm feeling and what I'm going through. And they didn't always have the right thing to say or even know what to say. But I'm still grateful they're in my life. Even though they didn't know exactly what to say, I'm still grateful for them. But that's one reason why it's just going to be me and my family. And I say my family. I'm not including in-laws. I have nothing against my in-laws. I had a video out, which I got a huge response from. It was talking about my mother-in-law and father-in-law. You guys know they lived here for up until recently. We bought the home 9 years ago. And very big home. My mother lived here. We moved in. My father-in-law, my mother-in-law, Mr. C's little sister. My 2 oldest were here at the time. We moved out. And during 2020, we had 12 people living in this house. And once he passed away, and my mother-in-law and father-in-law living downstairs, they were his responsibility. Now, they're not bedridden. My mother-in-law drives. She takes them everywhere. It wasn't like that. But I didn't have to step in. It was kind of like this. It was like good cop, bad cop. I was always the good cop around my mother-in-law and father-in-law, and I didn't get into whatever, if something come up. Mr. C parented his parents, and he had control over that, and they showed him respect because of that, because this was his house. But once he passed, I didn't feel that way, and it made for a strained dynamic between us, and I didn't want that. I didn't want us living together and feeling this void because Mr. C wasn't here. He was the one that took care of everything. And my father-in-law started falling a lot after Mr. C passed away. And so I was on edge. Every day, that's one reason I quit going anywhere, because every time I heard a sound, like something like that, I'm like, oh my gosh, he fell again. And I would run downstairs and my heart would start racing. And then that would bring on anxiety. Sometimes it would bring on a panic attack. And then, why does everything happen at 3 o'clock in the morning too? I was in my bedroom and couldn't, after Mr. C passed, I could not sleep with my door closed. So I slept with my door open. My mother-in-law, I could hear her coming down there. And she's like, Sherry, Sherry. And right then in my head, I'm like, okay, he fell. What's going on? Had to call the ambulance. Seeing the lights from the ambulance. Hearing the people in my home again. It brought back so much trauma from that night. And oh my gosh, all the time I'm thinking he fell. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I do not want to find my father-in-law dead the way we found Mr. C. It was so much anxiety. So finally I had to sit down with my husband's brothers and sister, and I had to write a letter. I could not just sit there and talk. So I wrote a letter and sat there and poured my heart out, because I was ready to bring them upstairs to keep them safe. Once again, I was still in this fog. And unless you've been in this fog, your perception is totally off. I cannot explain it. I've never been in that kind of fog in my life. And I felt like it was my responsibility. And then once I started coming out of that fog, I'm like, what am I doing? It's not my responsibility to take care of his parents. And so I read the letter, and the only thing that kind of got to me was after I read it, they were saying, yeah, we knew this, we were waiting for you to say something. That really got to me. That got to me because I was very vulnerable, hurt, so many other things. And I wish they would have come to me and said, when they found out that I was going to bring them upstairs, I wish they would have said to me, do you think this is a good idea? Now, I didn't get mad about it. I wasn't going to get angry about it, because I thought, you know, I'm not going down that road. Let's just work together to get them in a good place. And my brothers-in-law worked very hard, and they were able to get them into an apartment a mile from me. So not very far at all. And my mother-in-law and father-in-law have a dog, and now they have this beautiful fenced-in backyard. The dog can run. It's a small place they're in. I mean, it's tiny, but that's what they need, because my father-in-law would fall sometimes going to the bathroom. It's a long walk downstairs to the bathroom. And this is safer for them. The rent was very reasonable. You know, I helped them with the money to get in there, so everything is good. And now I feel like I can enjoy them as my mother-in-law and father-in-law without, oh my gosh, I don't know what you call it, without the tension, without, I don't know what you call it. It just feels better. It feels better that now the house, even though it's too quiet for me without Mr. C here, it now feels like there's some peace, and I feel like I can start moving forward again with healing. And besides, I'm not going to keep this house for a long time, so they'd have to move anyway, and they're fine with it. But I do have a video if you want to watch it. I think it's now like 11,000 views. A lot of people have resonated with that video. Some people are in the same situation, and like I said, I love my mother and father-in-law, but once you change, I guess it's the same way if you work with family, it changes things. And it's the same way here. Without Mr. C being the one to be the parent of them, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. It felt weird to me to make rules and to go downstairs and say, listen, I know Mr. C isn't here, but we have to keep the same rules. That's what he wanted. And it was hard. It was hard to talk to my mother-in-law and father-in-law and let them know that, I don't know. And I told them, I said, I'm not kicking you out. I can't handle it. I can't handle being responsible for them, especially when they have other family. They have kids. They have, you know, four other kids. Now, if Mr. C would have been an only child, it may have been different. I don't know, but we can't play what ifs and hypotheticals. But I do feel good about them being in their own place. My mother-in-law calls me. I can stop by anytime. And it's a lot better. It feels a lot better for me. And I'm currently working on things downstairs. I'm working on videos for the new year, getting back to projects. I've lost a lot of subscribers this month because of the videos I've been posting. A lot of people, and that's fine, because as I'm losing subscribers, I'm gaining more subscribers who like the content, they're going through the same thing, and they're watching my journey of going through this. So, you know, it's fine. Trust me, it's not like YouTube pays my bills. They don't. YouTube does not pay my bills. I don't make a lot on YouTube. But I enjoy doing these videos, especially because I've had so many women emailing me that, you know, I'm saying how they feel and what they wish they could say to their in-laws. And that makes me feel good. That makes me feel really good that I'm helping people through this channel. And that's what I want. I don't want this pain and all of this to go to waste. I don't want to just sit in my journey and not share it with other people, because I know that after Mr. C passed away, I started looking up videos like the ones I'm sharing, and they help so much. They help so much to listen to other women and men, listen to widowers and what they were going through, the feelings they had, just how they dealt with things, because it makes you realize you're not alone. And it makes you realize you're not crazy. I think I need to let the dogs out for a second. They'll be fine. We have a area out here where they go. So let me take them out. So talk amongst yourselves. I'll be right back. Come on, babies. Come on, you gotta go potty? Come on, Lulu. Let's go potty. Come on. You gotta go out? You gotta go potty? All right. All right. I will say too, if you are a widow or widower and you don't have any animals, I mean, Ira likes animals. They will give you a reason to get up in the morning, to take care of. Especially for me, I love pouring into Mr. C. I love doing things for Mr. C. And without him here, I needed something to pour my love into. So I ended up getting Scarlett. And she got me back on track with waking up early in the mornings, with just moving, going outside and walking. She has been a blessing to me. She really has. But there are times she's in bed with me, and I'll look at her cute little face and I'll say, I love you so much, Scarlett, but I wish I never would have met you, because I only got her because Mr. C was gone. And I know that sounds kind of weird, but you know, I adore her. I don't want any more at the moment. 3's enough. They can be a handful at times, but I love them so much. I adore them. I don't know if any of you have more than one animal, but I love them so much. And I can't talk and I can't do two things at once. Sorry about that, but I do love them. I love them tremendously. And they have just, especially Scarlett, like I said, Bruiser is 17, turned 17 the other week, and the poor little thing has dementia. Oh, he has dementia, and I hate it so much. Oh, he gets so confused. And even now, he went outside, he will still come back inside and use the bathroom in the house. He gets so confused. I do not get on to him. He's never been that way. I clean it up and I go about my day. There's no use scolding the little thing because he has no idea. Poor little thing. He's just so, oh my goodness, I love him. But seeing that too, I'm like, oh my gosh, he's 17. I am not looking forward to the day that I have to make that choice. Right now, he's fine. He's fine. He's a little confused now and then, but he's okay. But, you know, that's the way it is in life. So what choice do you have? You know you're going to lose people in your life. You know you're going to lose animals in your life. Do we just not get married? Do we not have a friend? Do we not get animals? Do we not do any of that because we know we're going to lose them later on? Because I really think the grief you feel is worth all that love that you got from that person or that animal. I really do. You know, I think about my own life, losing my mom, losing Mr. C, and it hurts more than anything in this world. But yet I had so many great years. I had an awesome mom. A lot of people can't say that about their mom. Had a wonderful husband. Gosh, he was just amazing. And, oh, I'll never experience love like that in my life. Never will I experience that again. Just amazing. Amazing. So that's why I'm grieving so hard, is because the love was so deep. He was just an amazing man, and I thank God every day for him. And when I get up in the mornings and I pray and I read my Bible, I tell God, thank you for my life. I wouldn't trade my life with anyone else's in this world. I would not. Even when I see family members with their spouses, or you go to church and you see people with their spouse, or I'm just at the doctor's office and I see someone, their spouse, I'm like, I still would not trade my life for theirs, because we all have problems. We all have issues. We all have something going on. And I know that some people may look like they have a good marriage on the outside. Not everybody does, you know. So I would not trade my life. I would not trade my circumstances for anyone else's. I would not. I worked with a man years ago, and he used to say, it's better to keep the problems you have than go out and get new ones. It's the same thing where people want to quit a job because they don't like it, and there's a person there or some other issues, but you know what the problems are. You know the issues. Sometimes it's better to deal with those than it is to start something new with things you don't know, if that makes sense. So I always try to think of that, yeah, I know some people have a better life than I do. Some people get to be married 60, 70 years. That's not me. That's not me. So I've got to make the most of the life God has given me, and I have got to go on this journey without Mr. C, and somehow not waste what life I have. And I think that's why I like doing this, and I like bearing my soul and being as transparent as I can, just to help people. Just to help people. And I like bringing a smile to someone's face. I want someone to leave after interacting with me feeling good, maybe a little motivated, feeling better than when they first met me. And that's what I'm trying to do on the other channel. Just I have not laughed like I did since Mr. C passed. I would laugh 10, 20 times a day around that man. He was so witty, so witty. And the thing is, he worked in IT. And when you think of people that work in IT, they do not have a sense of humor. This man had such a great sense of humor. And I love that about him. It made him so attractive. And he was so smart. Gosh, he was so smart. But being smart, and then also just that wittiness, and he was a big teddy bear. I mean, when you first meet him, I always used to tell him that I think people think you're mean, because he wasn't one just to smile all the time around people. He looked very stoic. But once you got to know him, you realize how funny he was. And the thing is, I really liked that about him, because I felt secure with him. I felt like when we went out, no one was going to mess with us. You know, he was 6 feet tall. He was over 200 pounds. And he just had that look about him. And I knew that at any time that man would have taken a bullet for me. So I always loved that about him. But once you got to know him, he would warm up to you, and he would laugh and tell jokes. And if you ever became his friend, you were his friend for life. No, I just have not met anyone to say anything bad about him since he's passed. Just a great friend, wonderful husband, wonderful father. And, you know, that doesn't come around all the time. So I'm very blessed. But yeah, I would not trade my life with anyone else's in the world. I would not. Not for the richest person. Nope. Nope. I never worry about being a millionaire. I want enough. And I only want what God has for me. I've never been one to chase money. Mr. C and I didn't have a pot to pee in when we got married. Or a window to throw it out of. And that was fine. That was fine. Because I'm going to tell you what, I would go back to those days in a heartbeat if God let me. I would go back to the days where we were struggling and we didn't have anything. Because it made us who we are. It made us who we were. And yeah, sometimes the struggle is worth it. And I feel like all the struggle we did, the issues we had, the illnesses that were in our family, it made us stronger. It made our marriage wonderful, where it would break some people and they would want to divorce. I didn't feel that way. It brought us together. And I know that in my lifetime, I will never have that again. And that's fine. I'm fine with that. I'm absolutely fine with that. Babies, are you back in the house? I hear one of them. Hank and Scarlett are like best friends. They love being around each other. He did not like her at first. Oh my gosh. Well, he wasn't mean to her. He was just like, I don't know what this little thing is. I don't want her around me. It's so hard to introduce sometimes another animal in with your pets you already have. And I've often thought about getting a cat, but I don't know about Hank. I don't know how you really introduce a cat or a little kitten to a new animal. You know, like Bruiser and Scarlett, I wouldn't think twice about putting a cat around them. I don't know about Hank, but I'm not getting a cat anytime soon, trust me. But I have thought about it, so I don't know if any of you do. Let me read some more comments here. It does seem easier to never love than to then. I remember the purpose of love is to love and be loved. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Hello, is it Anna Isabel? Did I pronounce that right? If not, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. You're right, though. If, you know, because I even had a video saying that some ways I have coped was in my head. I tried to pretend like he never existed. Because then it'd be easy. It'd be easy. But then I thought, if he doesn't exist, my kids don't exist, the beautiful marriage we have never existed. But you want a little break from the grief. And I even said in the video, it was at times easier to believe that he cheated on me and left me for another woman. That was easier than believing that he died. Because then that gives you, you know, like, okay, I'm going to get back at him. He left me. That's okay. I'm going to get my life straightened out. Anger sometimes was easier to deal with than the grief. And for the outside looking in, a lot of people find it crazy. But it's what you do to deal with the grief. You don't want to admit it. You don't want to believe it's real. So yeah, I've had some weird ways of coping with him not being here. I need to go close the back door. All the fur babies are back in. Good job, babies. Good job. You did such a great job. Good job, babies. I will also say for the new year, I'm not coming up with like a saying or a word or a phrase. I'm not doing that. Did it last year when I first started this channel, when I first started the channel at the beginning of the year. And it was the year of change because there were things I was wanting to do. Ooh, those words were more true than I thought they were going to be. So I'm not saying anything this year. I'm just saying it is what it is. I don't know. I'm not putting a word, a phrase, or anything for the new year. I'm just trying to figure out life, figure it out without Mr. C, and take you guys along with me on the journey. Because, as I mentioned before, I have lost subscribers with the videos I've been putting out for this month, and I promise I'm not doing that starting in the new year, but for this month, I felt like I needed to heal, and I think a lot of other people needed to heal. And I thought, let me share what I've been going through in some of these videos for Vlogmas. But not all of them are going to be this way, I promise you. But it was like I needed this month as a healing month. And by putting these videos out there, you know, making myself vulnerable, I know people are feeling the same way during the holidays. But at the beginning of the year, I'm already working on some videos. It's going to be about, well, I'm trying to think of a 2-year plan. And what I want to do in the next 2 years to move forward. I can see why they tell you as a widow, widower, even I'm sure they tell you this if you're getting a divorce. Don't make major plans or anything for a year. I get it. Because the day he died, or like that morning after, I'm like, I want to burn this house down. You know, and then it got up where, you know, I like this house. You know, yeah, I think I'll stay here. And then it got down to where, you know what, I hate this freaking house. And then it's like, no, I think I can stay here. Just all over the map. So if this is very fresh to you, very new, and you just lost a spouse, you don't have to make decisions right away. My brain thought I had to because I've always been like, I try to be an overachiever, and I think I can do more than I can. And I'm like, okay, I gotta get this done, and that done, and this done, and that done. No, you don't. No, you don't. You do not have to do a lot of stuff right away. No one's gonna come after you, I promise. We had one car in both of our names, and one car that was just in his name. I just got them all turned over into my name. You know, I just got the titles not long ago. And it's been 10 months, so don't think you have to go out and right away do stuff. I will say another thing too, do not take your spouse's name off the bank account too soon, because you could get checks in, who knows what the checks are for. You could get them in months later in their name. Now, of course, you're not going to sign their name to it. You know, you take them to the bank and everything. But yeah, I learned that. I also went and saw a lawyer afterwards. I was able to get some forms filled out that they filed with the courthouse. And I did some estate planning, trying to get things, because now that I don't have a husband, you know, I'm having to make sure my kids are beneficiaries and know all this other stuff. And so I did all that. That made me feel really good. See a financial advisor. There's just so many things, but just don't rush, and don't do like me. Don't do the grief spending. I mentioned before, I spent $2,000 grief spending. I sent some of it back. Now, one of them was this set of chairs and these cushions. I do like them, I really do, but then I have some other stuff. So next year it's going to be about us decluttering. I've got to go through my closet again. I don't know why I bought so many shoes, and they weren't expensive shoes. I have no idea why. I don't go anywhere. And I did that. I didn't buy home decor though. I've got so much home decor. You guys watch me, you know I got crap all downstairs that we're going to be going through. So next year, I want to focus on my plan to rebuild my life in my 50s, which I never thought I'd be doing, and trying to figure out what do I want for my life, what I don't want for my life. And along the way, we're going to be going on a minimalist journey. I think I said I wanted to get rid of 80 or 90% of what I own. Oh my gosh. I've got stuff, you guys. I got stuff I'm sitting here looking at that's just driving me crazy. But those are going to be the videos. Getting my home ready for sale in a couple of years. downstairs I have a lot of projects to work on, and I have all the stuff that I need to do projects, except for paint. I gotta do the paint and things like that. But that's what I want to do. I want to not so much make this house a home again for me, but get it ready to sell. And then even go on the journey of taking you guys with me, starting in a new home. It's a large home. I don't need all this space. But I have a lot of decisions to make, and I'm giving myself the next 2 years to figure out my life. So if you're in the same position, join me. We'll do this journey together. We need to do it like the Golden Girls. If any of you are widows, we just need, I tell you, this house is big enough. We could do the Golden Girls right here, where you lean on each other as women and help each other. And that's what I think of, because I am a huge Golden Girls fan. And that's what I think of when I was in my grief share group. There were so many other widows there, and I thought to myself, and I told one of them, I said, we just need to all live together. We just need to support each other as women, as widows. How great would that be? I think it would be so wonderful. Nah, am I going to do it? Of course not. But how wonderful is that thought, to lean on other women who are going through what you're going through, just for that support. That support means so much. It really, really does. Let me read some more comments we got going on here. Girl, it's your channel, and the real ones will be here no matter. Oh, thank you so much, Michelle. I appreciate it. Hi. Hey, Joyce, how are you? I appreciate you sharing your experience with us, because almost everything you have said, I've thought. Yep, amen. Yep, I'm in the middle of paperwork. Oh, the paperwork. I hate every bit of it. I hated all the paperwork. I hate going through all of that. But I joked and said, I am so glad I didn't pass before Mr. C. He hated doing all that stuff. He hated it so much. And I joked with my son, and I said, if I would have passed away before your dad would have hurried up and got another wife, just do the paperwork for him, because he hated doing paperwork. Oh my Lord, that man did. I handled all that stuff. And everything was so scary to me. Everything was so scary to me. I was scared of everything after he passed away. And that's why I put off going to the DMV. Okay, now the lady I got was nice, but I've not had good experiences at the DMV. I think a prerequisite for getting a job at the DMV is that you have no personality and you have an attitude. And I was so scared to go to the DMV. But thankfully, the lady, in, out, I mean, she didn't have personality of the year, but she was very businesslike. Do this, and I got it done. And like I said, I just did that recently. But yeah, and you're already feeling overwhelmed and scared. And then when you have to deal with people that have no sympathy towards you, and they're just, even when they know what you're going through. But you know what? I am not responsible for someone else's, how do I want to say it? How they respond to things. I'm only responsible for how I respond to things. And I can't tell you how many times I broke down. I broke down at the bank. I broke down at the lawyer's office. I broke down at the doctor's office when I had to go to the doctor soon after. I had to get a root canal, and I was in pain for 10 days, 2 weeks after Mr. C passed away. So I'm grieving, plus my tooth is killing me. And then I have to go get a root canal, and I'm there getting a root canal. I'm in the, whatever, it's not a dentist, whatever they're called. In walks this old man and woman. I'm sitting there, and I'm like, Sherry, hold it in, hold it in, hold it in. Because I'm like, oh my gosh, he is there with his wife. I have no one here with me during this root canal. It's just those things like that. Because Mr. C went with me everywhere when it comes to things like that. He was just so supportive. And to see that, I'm like, I don't want to see a man and woman in front of me, husband and wife, So everything was just made worse when I had to go do something. It was made even worse. But yeah, take your time doing things. You don't have to rush in to do a lot of stuff. but you feel like you have to, I guess. Even when it come to like, well, there was one month, I don't think I forgot to pay bills. And it wasn't like Mr. C did it. I did it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, did I not pay that? Did I not pay the mortgage? Did I not do this? And I didn't pay anything. It wasn't late enough to get, any repercussions about it. But I'm like, oh my gosh. So then I went and set everything on automated payments. And I made an Excel sheet. Mr. C would have been so proud of me. I made an Excel sheet to where I'm okay now with it though. But I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose the house. I'm not ever paying the mortgage or anything. It's just amazing. And I say this too. There's a lot of things I forget to do because Mr. C was the other half of my brain. And I know what I didn't remember, he did. What he didn't remember, I would remember. So he was the other half of my brain, definitely. Even though I was the one that took care of the financial stuff, like making sure the bills are paid, all this other stuff. He knew what was going on, but I was the one who did it all the time. And yeah, I've had so many lapses in memory. Someone will say something to my family, I'm like, I don't remember you saying that to me or telling me this. It's trauma. I know it's trauma. It's a lot of trauma. But I feel like mentally I'm starting to get back to where I feel more in control about things. I don't break down like I did. And when I do, they don't last as long now. The crying doesn't last as long. I don't have panic attacks anymore. The anxiety, once in a blue moon, but it's not like what it was. And I feel like once I get control over the junk in the house, decluttering, not having a lot in the house, I'm going to feel better because to me it's noise. Everything is noise to me. And I want to see clear counters. I want to see empty shelves. I did a video months ago where I took everything off the shelves. It just feels better. It feels better not to have this stuff. Like I said, unless you're going through it, unless you've gone through it, it's hard to understand. One lady had asked me in one of the videos, because I always say this, there are days I feel like burning the house down and walking away. And she said, why? So I don't know if she is a widow or she's gone through anything like that. And I told her, I said, it's just a description of how I feel about things. I'm not tied to anything in this house. I don't have, I don't need to possess the things because the things are just things. And so it's a representation of that. Now, would I burn my house down? Of course, I'm not going to burn my house down. It's just an illustration of how I feel about the stuff in this house. That's all it is. That's why I don't feel a connection now with a lot of the stuff I have here. And if it were gone tomorrow, I'd be okay with it. I would be okay with the things being gone. But yeah, I don't want any responsibility over things. I think that's what it is. I don't want responsibility over maintaining this stuff, taking care of this stuff, finding a place for this stuff. I want the bare minimum. I want the bare minimum that I need to live. I only want to keep things in my home that are beautiful to look at. It may not be minimalism the way some people think of it as, but that's why I call it minimalism my way. It's my journey. This is how I feel like I'm going to start healing even more. I had no control over Mr. C passing away so suddenly. I have control over this. And I think that's what it is. I'm trying to gain that sense of control again. And now I can't control everything, obviously, but I can control certain things. God gave us a brain. He gave us intelligence. He's not going to do everything for us. We have to take charge and do things. And that's what I'm trying to do. If I take one step, he'll lead me to the other step. And that's how I'm looking at everything, as a journey. I don't know how else to put it. So just join for this journey next year, because I don't know what I'm going to be doing. Let me read some more comments. Do it. I have over the top things and 3 properties. I can't do it. Exactly. I have received in Spanish. You are no one anymore. I am lucky. We had everything paid off. Now taxes come in his name. Longer to solve. Oh my gosh, yes. I think that's one reason why I just want to get rid of this house too. You know, I just want something simple. I want everything to be put in my name. I want things simple. I just want them simple. And that's why I joke all the time and say I'd be happy in a tiny home. I'd be happy in a tiny home. I don't really care. I don't care anymore. And I love to decorate, or loved to decorate. Love to go to the thrift stores. Love to go to the antique stores and find things for my home. But your home is not your things. Your home is your person, your spouse, your animals. That's your home. And like I said, just join me on the journey. I don't know what else to say, because I'm lost. And hopefully by gaining control over the clutter in my house and making a somewhat plan, because the way I look at it is like this. I need a plan. I need a goal. And after 2 years, if I change it, so what? So what? You know, failing to plan is a plan for failure. So I'm giving myself those 2 years. I'm giving myself to the end of 2027 to make the repairs on the house, get the house in order to sell, while also healing and mourning what my life was and what my life will be without him. I love this house when we found it. We've done a lot of work in it. Our plan was to do the work over 15 years because we have a 15-year mortgage, and we've already gone through 9 years of it. But that's not the plan anymore. And that's life. That's life. I can sit here and cry. I can act like a victim. I can say, woe is me. It's not going to do any good. It's not going to do any good. But it's taken me almost 10 months to get up to this point. So if you're not, don't look at me and think that you have to be like this. If this has just happened to you and it's very raw and it's very fresh. I didn't think I'd be at this point. I never thought I'd be at this point by the end of the year. I don't think you ever truly heal. You always walk around with that emptiness and the what ifs and should have beens. That'll always be with me. But I can't sit around my house thinking something's going to happen or something's going to change if I don't do it. And that's why I tried to explain that one video about no one's coming to save you. No one's coming to save you. No one's coming to do the work for you. No one's coming to make you get out of bed. No one's coming to make you take that shower. No one's coming to... Now, you have friends that will help you, but you're the one that has to do at least 90% of the work. And if you have friends and family that can help you along the way, that's great. But they still can't make you do that. And for me, I try to look at that in a positive way. When I say, because I have to get mad at myself some days. There are days I have to get really tough with myself. And I'm like, Sherry, no one is, I get so mad at myself. Sherry, no one's coming to save you. No one's coming to take you out of this. No one's coming to do anything for you. Your protector, your provider, the one who was your knight in shining armor is gone. He's gone. So now what are you going to do? What steps are you going to take to move forward? I have to get tough with myself. I have to give myself, I don't know if it's a pep talk or if it's tough love. I really have to do that to myself. And to give me motivation. And it does. It gives me motivation. Because I don't want my kids taking care of me. Yes, I want their opinion about certain things. If I need their help with certain things, they're here for me. But I have a brain. I'm not stupid. And I try to consult with other people that know more than me. like an advisor, CPA, people like that. But there are days I am very rough on myself. And I have to be. I can't just sit here and act like things are going to get taken care of, just me sitting here. God gave me 2 legs, 2 arms, a brain. I still have air in my lungs. So I have got to move forward and pray about it. Do what is right. Do what is honest. And even if I make a mistake, He'll put me back on the right path. He will put me back on the right path. And that's how I keep my faith alive, and how I keep moving forward is knowing I'm going to take one step and He's going to lead me to another. Let me read some more comments here. You help, don't pull away. We worked our whole life and moved out of the country 7 years ago. This was supposed to be our retirement place. Now I'm here alone. Probably will sell. Oh, I am so sorry, Joyce. And that's what sucks too. You make these plans with your spouse, especially, and I've seen it many times too, where you retire and you're going to start this journey together. You're going to travel. You're going to do all this stuff together. And then when the spouse dies, and it does not seem fair. It does not seem fair whatsoever. Because I even talked about that with Mr. C. I said, oh my gosh, babe. I said, it's never been just the 2 of us living together. I moved from my mother and father's house directly to getting married, having kids. And Mr. C was the same way. And his parents lived here. Now, I didn't want his parents dying anytime soon. I want his parents to live as long as the good Lord wants them to live. But we'd often thought about what it would be like when we got older and we were just the 2 of us and what we were going to do together. And we weren't really travelers, but we had thought about it. We talked about it. Once we get older and we retire, what we're going to do together. And it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So what else do I have? What else can I do? I have to make a plan. I have to make a plan and move forward. And yes, the way I feel right this moment, I don't feel every day. I don't feel every day. There are days I'm like, forget this. It's not worth it. Last night, I'm in bed. I'm sitting there with the dogs in bed. And I feel like I could crawl out of my skin. And it's like, oh my gosh, I can't explain it. I felt like all of a sudden I had all this crashing down on me and I wanted to come out of my skin. And I do that to myself. I feel like I have to make decisions right away, and I don't. And I do this to myself. And my son will have to talk me off the ledge a lot of times. And so I do try to get a pen and paper, write out things. I'm like, okay, Sherry, you don't have to do this today. We can wait. Let's not make a rash decision about this, because that's me. I have an impulsive personality a lot of times. And it has not served me well in the past. And without having Mr. C here to help guide me, it's even worse at times. So I'm like, okay, let's get laser focused on a plan for the next 2 years. And we're not going to worry about a plan for 10 years down the road. Let's just look at 2 years. Let's look at 2 years. So I do have my plan, and that's going to be what my channel will be focused on for next year as well. It won't be a lot of me just sitting there having therapy sessions. I know a lot of people, like I said, unsubscribed because of this, which is fine. But for this month, I really needed the healing, and I think a lot of people did too. So those are mainly what my videos were focused on. But they will go back to my home, my everyday life. And yes, I will throw in, of course, moments like this of what's going on and life updates, because that is part of the journey. The journey is not just me redoing my home. It's also the journey of my mental health and how I am trying to move forward without him. Let's see. No one cares, woman. Okay, yeah. No one cares. You're right, no one cares. I don't know who you are. I have no idea who you are. But you're right, no one does care. You are free to move on to another channel. That's right. That's right. Everyone is free to move on to another channel. And you know, and there's channels I have watched and I've outgrown them, or they changed their content, and that's fine. We're human. Not everything's going to stay the same forever, even in your own life. And that's the way it is on a channel sometimes. And I've said it before, I can only create content about what's going on in my life. I don't want things to seem better than they are. I don't want to make up things. And yes, while I do try to make my videos look very beautiful to watch and very pretty and everything, I still try to give you the real deal of what my life is like. Don't compare your life with mine. My life is messed up, but I don't mind sharing it because I know there are times that I've wanted to hear that. I've wanted to see someone and say their home looks beautiful, but then they really are transparent about their life. I appreciate that, because just because you see something that looks really pretty doesn't mean that's how their life is. It doesn't. I could turn this camera around and show you the junk and the mess I have right here. It looks nothing like this. So it's just what you want to put out to the world. And being vulnerable isn't always easy. But like I said, if I can help someone know they're not alone, this pain is worth going through. It is worth the pain. Or I'll put it like this, I don't want to waste it. I don't want to waste what I'm going through by just sitting in my home, not helping someone else. And me helping someone else, I think someone had made a comment on one of the videos. Oh, you need to get out. You need to help other people in all this. Go out and help who? Just walk up to a random person in a store. Hey, are you a widow? Are you a widower? Let me help you. What? Through this medium, I can help a lot of people. And that's the way I look at it. I don't think I have to go out of my house to do that. But I don't think some people really understand. And I know they probably meant well, you know, get out of the house. Get out of the house and do what? Go where? Honestly, for me, like going out to eat, going out shopping, I think it's overrated. It doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't. I do meet with my sister-in-law now and then. I'm meeting with her tomorrow for coffee at a coffee shop. I enjoy that. I enjoy sitting there with a cup of coffee and talking to my sister-in-law and us catching up on stuff. I don't need fancy dinners. I don't need to go out shopping. I don't need to have spa days. That's not me. That's just not who I am. I'd rather sit there and have a really meaningful conversation with someone over a cup of coffee. And that's how I feel like we're doing with this. I've got my iced coffee. I probably drink 3 of these by noon. I love iced coffee. Oh my gosh, I love iced coffee. It's so delicious. And I refuse to go buy it at Starbucks. But I will say, if you want a good iced coffee and you're cheap like I am, go to McDonald's. Go to the McCafe. What I do is I get an iced coffee, cream only, no liquid sugar, because I don't eat sugar, and it's like $1 something. And I'm gonna tell you what, it is hands down better than Starbucks. Starbucks is very overrated, if you ask me. I don't think it's that great either, but that's one little pleasure of mine. I love my coffee. Look, the older I get, I'm getting more like my mom. She drank hot coffee. She drank a pot of coffee a day. Oh my gosh. I don't know how the woman did it. Maybe that's how she lived to be in her 80s. I have no idea. But I am definitely an iced coffee kind of girl. If you hear Bruiser barking, the poor little thing, he gets fearful sometimes. Like I said, he has dementia and he will bark. He's fine. I can see him right there. He's fine though. But poor little thing, he gets confused. It makes me think of my mom in so many ways. She would get that way. So sad to see. I don't know how much longer God is going to let me have that little baby, but I love him so much at 17. Oh, he is just a little angel. Let's see this. You're free to move on to another channel. Huh? Okay. Oh my goodness. Well, you guys, it is now 10:17. I appreciate you guys chatting with me. And next week, it is Christmas Eve, next Wednesday. So what I'm going to do, we're actually going to go into, there's Hank. This happens every time I'm recording videos too. I can't tell you how many times I've had to stop and let him get it out of his system. It doesn't take much for that little thing. A leaf falls, Hank goes at it. but you don't want to mess with him. He will take up for me. But next Wednesday, Christmas Eve, I am going to take us into the kitchen. It'll be around 6 p.m. next week, so it won't be a morning one, but it'll be 6 p.m. next Wednesday, and we're going to prep everything for Christmas brunch. And I've got a few recipes, so if you're prepping something for Christmas Eve, if you're through with your Christmas party on Christmas Eve by 6 p.m., join me. My son is going to set up, I'm not going to use my phone, I'm actually going to try to, well, he's going to, because I'm not that good with hooking stuff like that up, my DSLR camera so we can get a better view of things. Hopefully it's going to work. I got to test out the audio and everything before we get to that point, so I may do some test lives with that camera just to see if everything looks good. But next Wednesday, Christmas Eve, because I have nothing going on Christmas Eve, I'm just going to be prepping everything for brunch. Join me then at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're prepping, take me along with you in the kitchen. We can prep together. We can spend Christmas Eve together. And then on New Year's Eve, we're going to spend some time together and just chatting about the new year. What are your goals? What are your plans? And I'll go into more detail about the videos I'm going to be doing. But we will, in January, do the No Spend January. And I will come on here once a week and we can encourage each other about not spending anything in January. Remember, in January, all we're going to spend money on food, the necessities, you know, paying bills. We're not going to buy any junk or anything, things like that. We're going to use what we have. We're going to use what we have. So if you need a new eyebrow pencil before January, you need your foundation, buy all the stuff you need, and we'll just work through what we already have. For me, an eyebrow pencil is a necessity. I got to draw them suckers on half the time, but that is a necessity for me. But that's what we're planning to do. We're going to see how much money we can save in January, do a no-spend January. But thank you guys so much. I'm going to see what Bruiser needs. He may need to go out again, poor little thing. But thank you guys so much. Let me read one more little comment here. Good morning, Sherry. So glad to see this morning. I do love my coffee. Also, I can make better coffee at home. Girl, me too. This, so much better. I use a percolator, old-timey percolator on the stove. That's how I do my iced coffee. I perk it, I put it in the refrigerator for the next day, and I make about 12 cups, and it lasts me a couple of days. But guys, thank you so much. Hopefully I will see you again Christmas Eve. We're going to go in the kitchen. We're going to prep stuff. We're going to have a good time. I have some music playing, and we're going to be very festive. We're not going to cry. We're going to just give us an evening together where we're celebrating the holidays, putting a smile on each other's face, and just enjoying each other. There's nothing wrong with grieving, but if we can take a couple hours out of the day just to connect, to support each other, I think it's a good thing. I really do. But guys, thank you so much. I appreciate everything. Like I said, if you watched that last video, it's on my channel about my in-laws. Thank you so much. Now I'm gonna go check out the babies. I'm sure they need me. And I hope everyone has an awesome day. Bye guys.